got absolutely a complete insight into the victim's agenda as it is now. I got wonderful presentations of the lived experiences from victims themselves. I've heard the presentation of the main arguments and both sides and three sides to debates that you expect to hear, but I've also heard a wonderful openness. And the big thing I heard, which from our point of view as an organisation that provides psychological support and therapy, was a huge commitment that part of reparation is an investment in psychological services and therapies for those who need them, and also a huge commitment to choice, that victims have a range of choices, that one size doesn't fit all. There's no victim is going to be like any other victim, and sometimes our language around that is, but everyone is victims in this situation, and everyone has a real and felt sense of what that means. And I felt that there was a range of reparatory interventions that could be used, that could meet all needs, and it was great to be part of that conversation today.
The people in this room, thank you.
I was obviously keen to hear the outcome of the Haas O'Sullivan and to hear it so beautifully actually presented today by Kieran McAvoy. I thought he took us through it very well, and he highlighted the key issues. As someone who's been working on the victims' agenda for a long time, I suppose I was keen to hear, this is the first major conference there's been on the issue in quite a while, so it's good to know what are the developments, what is happening, what are the dialogues that are happening. And I think from today it's very clear to see that a lot of work has been happening, and the valuable work of the Victims Forum, I think the work that the Commissioner has carried out, I think there's clear evidence that victims are being listened to. And I mean, it's just, I feel as though, I know there's a lot of frustration and there's still a lot of the old tensions, but I see a lot of evidence of good work that has been going on, and really serious work. And I was asked, was the Haas O'Sullivan kind of the working group and all its work gone away now and we're kind of left bereft? I didn't get a sense of that. I get a sense that we're very much engaged with the process here. And I was at a couple of the workshops today. Well, one of the workshops was reparation, which was hugely fascinating for me. And I thought in that conversation there was a real openness to a variety of types of reparation. I think there was a very strong advocacy for a phased approach, a genuine recognition that there are people who are urgently in need of help. I think we heard that whole panoply presented very well, and that indicates to me that conversations have really been happening on the ground and happening every day to have got to that level of openness. So it was just from that point of view, it was great, and it was also important to advocate on behalf of the women and the victims that we work with, so that our, that we can represent their views, and also to take back information to them, which we got today in buckets. It was really, really good. I thought it was excellent the whole day.
People who had lost people have said that they don't necessarily want prosecutions. People want different things.
Well, hopefully we're going to see some type of movement in actually dealing with the victims' issues. The problem in the past has been a lot of promises made and nothing actually done. If we're going to move this thing on, and I know there's been talk about the Haas and all this type of activity, they need to start listening to the victims. They need to actually listen to what we're saying. And I see a number of faces here that I've seen here in 1998. I see a lot of new faces. But at the end of the day, we could be here in another 10 years if people do not actually sit down and listen to what we're saying. We need to deal with the issues that hopefully the Commissioner will start to move things forward. Because if we don't, we're going backwards. The Haas talks and all that type of stuff, it's not going to work unless the victims are on board. As simple as that. Victims need to be to the forefront. That's the first message that needs to go back to the Office of the First and Deputy First Minister. They do not decide. The Office of the First Minister and Deputy First Minister do not decide what we need. The victims decide what they need. And if they don't start listening to the victims, they might as well pack up and go home. That's the reality of the situation. Now, I'm hoping that through the Commissioner here, that they will start to listen to what the problems are. I know she's made a number of recommendations. Not say I agree with them all, but I agree with a number of them. We have to move on here. But we're not going to move on at the price of neglecting the right to justice. And that seems to be an issue that we're not really addressing when it comes to FMDF, and they want us to ignore that fact. But we're not going to ignore it, and they need to waken up to that fact, that justice is one of the most important issues for people like ourselves. I've been at quite a number of these things. I think there is a genuine effort this time to actually listen to the victims, and I hope I'm right in what I say, that there is a genuine effort. If there is, that's all we can ask for, a genuine willingness to listen to the victims and to help us move on.